Hey guys, welcome to another Rossi audio video, and this one is gonna be a little bit about the bad stuff around here. And when I say around here, I mean locally, nationally, worldwide, you name it, you pick. You can find it anywhere and everywhere, and it happens a lot. I was I have to say, this weekend I had a free moment, and I sat down and I kind of like did a little count on things, and I was shocked to see how bad it really is. Oh, the sun is coming out. It's been raining for 2 days. Um, we're talking about scammers and people who are being defrauded, and we're talking about the people who puts out a fraud, and I mean it happens to any type of product. Um, and it doesn't matter what marketplace, if it's Craigslist, Facebook, eBay, you name it. There's scammers all over the place, both sellers and buyers. But we're not going to talk about that side of it, because I've been trying to keep in track because I sell locally on several online medium, and one of them are Craigslist and one of them are Facebook. And I have in the past used some of these apps, but I quit these apps that are like OfferUp and Let Go and stuff. It is totally worthless. You can find some stuff there, but as a seller, it is totally worthless. And you meet a lot of dead meat and no shows and just people who want to basically waste your time. Um, so here's the kicker. I saw one. One. I see them every day. But it was one that really caught my attention, and it was right here locally, and it was a person who had some electronics, computers, laptops, whatever it was, and of course you have these people on Facebook who is apparently running companies and they're offering all kinds of services and all kinds of shit. Um, and there was this one guy who had some Facebook things going on, where he basically had made like a heading and a logo with a logo, and it was one of those cheap online make yourself a logo shit. It doesn't. Oh Lord, you know, you can go to the website, you can design a logo and download it, and you pay nothing, and it's just a very generic thing. So he had made something like that, and he had put that on a little electronic business card kind of thing, and I think he was operating something like that. And of course, this person had gone on Facebook and needed some repairs to, I think it was a laptop, or if it was a desktop or something. It was a computer, I think. But this guy offered services. He's like, we fix computers, electronics, gadgets, cell phones, all types of electronics. We fix it all. Okay, that means gear that I'm selling. So apparently he's fixing amplifiers, stereos, you name it. And that's why I paid attention to this one. Um, and they had got in contact with each other on Facebook. Um, and this person who had a need for some repairs or something done just blindly busted out there and contacted this dude, and they started talking. And the reason I know this is because she posted it on Facebook this morning about how she got scammed and blah blah blah, and she listed the whole conversation with print screens and all kinds of shit. Um, and So they had been talking, and she had met up with him, and after a long conversation where he mentioned, "Yeah, you can drop it off at my store, but I'm not going to be there long because I have like I do house calls, I do service calls, so I'm just going to be here for another 20 minutes. But if I don't catch you, I can meet you somewhere." And that is a red flag right away. Okay, you don't meet someone. If you have a need to repair some electronics, you take it to a store. You take it to a service department that has a physical store. But no, they agreed on meeting somewhere, and God knows where it was because it didn't say. Probably some gas station, probably some local Walmart parking lot or whatever. And I don't know how he managed to do this, but I see it a lot. I see it more often than not. And it is people give away their stuff. Basically, she was handing over a computer, a laptop, I think it was. She handed this laptop. She did not, in a parking lot somewhere, did not get a receipt or a work order or anything like that. Not a business card. Did not go to a physical location to get it verified. And on top of that, she paid him for the repairs before even the repairs was done in a parking lot at Walmart or BP or Shell or something like that. Okay, and I'm just baffled when these things happen because trust me, this is not one of a kind of happening. This happens all the freaking time. It's either people give physical money, which there's no transaction, you can't trace it. It's just paper money or coin or whatever. You pay them some money, you can't trace it, you can't prove it. And on top of that, you give them your product in a parking lot of all places. And you sit there and you convince yourself that this is a reputable store. This is a service provider that has everything in order. Oh Lord, not only did she lose her product or her laptop, she lost her money as well. So it's a double whammy. It's like ding, 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 ding. And this, as I said, it's not just one thing happening. It happens every freaking day. I see it every day on Facebook for all types of product. It covers private transaction, person to person, so-called business to person. I haven't seen too much business to business, but come on. It happens several times a day, every day. It doesn't matter what website or what social media platform you're on. I see people give money, cash, like I said, can't be traced, can't be proven, unless you have someone sitting in a car taking a video or snapping pictures or whatever. And I see people transferring money electronically online for buying something or something, and that as soon as they paid it, they don't hear from the seller ever again. That's just as bad. So, never pay for anything unless you got the thing in your freaking hand. And if you sell something, don't give it away until you have received the money, either as cash or you can verify it on your phone or computer that it has electronically cleared into your PayPal, your Venmo, Cash App, whatever you freaking use, okay? Protect yourself. This is all about protecting yourself as a buyer, as a seller, as a service provider, as a person in need of a service. You have to protect yourself at all times, at all costs, and you have to be kind of like a little bit paranoid, because one thing I learned when I was very, very young, 10, 11, 12, something like that, and that has stuck with me ever since. I trust absolutely no one, absolutely not a soul when it comes to money. I don't care who you are, how good of a reputation you have, or how long I have freaking known you. I don't trust anyone when it comes to money. So that's it. But this just baffled me and blows my mind that people are so gullible. So I'm sorry, I'm going to be straightforward, honest here, and I'm always are. People are so gullible, so stupid, so dumb, and then they sit online and they cry their guts out and they complain and they make like a huge thing in these social media places about stay away from this dude, he's a scammer, he just scammed me, blah blah blah. And then you have people making comments. I made a comment on this one and I said, it was straightforward. You know what? Blame yourself. You handed over a piece of a laptop to someone that you didn't know, who said he had a shop, who said he had a store and a company. She did not go on Google and to verify that he had a computer repair company or electronic repair company. She did not go and check if he had a website or even a Facebook group site, okay? And she did nothing to check or verify this dude. And meeting him in a parking lot, that should ring some alarm bells. And if someone that runs a company or a store or a service provider company or whatever demands that you meet him in a parking lot and demands that you pay them up front, oh man, you better run like hell. You better run like you have the devil chasing you from behind, okay? Because those alarm bells are going off multiple, and I mean, and even worse is when someone like me comes along and I see this and I go like, are you freaking nuts? Are you dumb? How stupid can you be? And I speak my mind. I said exactly what I meant, and basically where you could have just have taken this laptop, stopped at a red light where you have these panhandlers, given him $300 and a laptop and said, good, have a good day, see you next year. I said that, I mentioned that, and I said, blame yourself. You did not verify anything. And by the way, I did check this guy out, and the address that he listed as his business address is in one of the shittiest part of town, where I wouldn't set my foot after dark, and it's in an apartment complex that is just riddled with crime. I mean, Memphis has some really bad neighborhoods, and this is one of them. This is one neighborhood, if you have to drive there at night, you lock all your doors and you put on a bulletproof vest and you double the speed limit, okay? You just go through there like nuts. And I put that in there, and I even told her, this is what you trusted, this is what you did not verify, and this is how you just take my stuff. And of course, people react differently, okay? So far, there's been 3 people giving me a thumbs up for my comment and my reaction. Then I think there's 2 that is like laughing out loud kind of emoji thing. And then there's like 3 or 4 that are like, have that red face, angry face. Apparently they think I treated her not in a nice way, when I just was honest and told her that, hey, you can blame yourself for this one. If this is how stupid you are, and you give away your money and your laptop in a parking lot, and you trust someone that is supposed to repair this shit for you, if that's how you operate as a person, then you're not only gullible to believe someone, but you are freaking stupid. I mean, there are some stupid people out there. And I got comments, oh, you're rude and you shouldn't say this to her, and it was she made a mistake. No. And this is where you have to draw a line in the sand, where mistake is you do something and you kind of like, oh wow, oh well, I shouldn't have said or done that. Okay, I'm out $10, I'm out $20, or I broke the speed limit. Oh shit, I got a ticket for 40, 50, 60 bucks. That's a mistake. That's a freaking mistake. And that can be fixed. You can, it's no big deal. You have to pay a little bit of money, or let's say you did something and maybe you lost a piece of jewelry and you're like, ah shit, I had it for 10 years, but you know what, I can go and get myself a new bracelet or whatever. Or you do something that is like gonna cost you maybe like $100 or so, and me here, maybe I do a mistake here, and I have to pay for it like maybe like $100 or so to make it right. But when you meet up, when you go through the whole process from contacting someone online, and I mean, the conversation was huge. It was like 8 pages she had done print screen of. If you still after that go through with this and you meet someone in a parking lot, I don't think it's specified what kind of place they met at, but they said you can meet me because I'm not going to be at my store for more than 20 minutes. After that, I have to meet you somewhere. And they had met and hooked up. So probably in a parking lot, and it's either a gas station, Walmart, or some other bigger, retail stores. So when you have gone through this whole ordeal of talking to a guy and you don't verify anything, you don't check him out, you just meet up, hand over the laptop, hand over the cash, don't get a written receipt, don't get anything that you can trace or use a proof or anything. All you have is some texts on Facebook. For all you know, that account can be fake. Okay? And he gave you an address. If you had taken that address, you put it into Google Maps, it would have showed you where that place was. And when I did it, it came up at this apartment complex in a very shady, shitty neighborhood. So, but she also responded back to me, and she kind of took responsibility for it. She said, yes, I blame myself, but I'm new to the city. I just moved there. Whoa. If you are new to Memphis, even more so should you go with a store. She should have taken a computer, gone to a computer store, and there's plenty of them around here. There's 5 computer stores per freaking block. Everyone is repairing phones, computers, all kinds of stuff. And there's plenty of those stores and those companies around. But no, she wanted to hook up with someone she met on Facebook that made some claims, had a nice little logo, catchy little thing. We repair electronic cell phones and tablets and blah, blah, blah. And that's what she went with. And on top of that, she justified going to a parking lot, handing over the laptop and the cash. She justified that with her actions. But, people say when they come back and do these comments, and I touched on it, like, oh, she made a mistake. No, mistake is very different. This is not a mistake. This is a calculated behavior, calculated action. She had so many opportunities to just no. And this is not a mistake. This is you do something and you convince yourself that, yeah, this is the right thing to do. I'm going to meet someone at a parking lot at Walmart that's going to repair my computer, and I'm going to pay him up front and say bye-bye. Yeah, no, that's not a mistake. So the problem is that people that make comments, they want to be so political correct that, oh my God, you can't criticize her for this. She made a mistake, for God's sake. You can't criticize her. Don't tell her the truth. Don't be too bombastic with facts and how you should do things. Play it nice. Rub her here. Whisper in her ear that, oh, it was a mistake. It will fix itself. That's not what we need. That's how you create this whole scamming thing, because you are the part of the problem. The problem is scammers, and then you have stupid people who fall for the scams, and then you have the people who try to justify it and enable it further, and they are most likely to get scammed themselves because they're too blocked to see this kind of shit. Oh my Lord. I mean, if you can't take your laptop or amplifier, CD player, speaker to a store and hand it over, get a receipt, a piece of paper, a work order receipt or something, you're not handing over your item to anyone. And for sure you don't freaking prepay up front. I mean, some stores do have a kind of like a deposit thing. I do that here too. But if I know that the repair is going to be $300, $400, $500, $600, I'm not telling the customer that, hey, I need your $600 because that's what it's going to cost. No, what I do is I look at what it will cost me to order in the parts, and what I do is I add that up, and then I add another 10 to 15% on top of that, as just in case they don't come back, so I don't spend money on parts and they never come back to pick it up, because that happens. Trust me, that happens. People come and they want to have things repaired. They hand it over, and they I never hear from them again. That have happened so many times over the last 30 years, you would not believe it. I mean, sometimes, and what happens then is I have to store the items for 90 days, and then I have to make a publication in public that if you don't pick up your stuff now, it will be disposed of. And it's a huge nightmare, and sometimes it can fill up the storage of some companies. I mean, I have had as many as 8 to 9 items stacked, and not here, but in my when I was running earlier, many years ago. I had 8 to 9 people weekly that came and handed over things for repair, and I never heard from them again. And that happened over like a year or two. We had a room full of unclaimed products. We had to go out. We had to spend money on publications in the newspapers, and all that kind of stuff. And there's a lot of work around it. And finally, we could either dispose of it. And after that was done, we could dispose of it in any way we wanted. We could throw it away. We could sell it. We could use parts from it. Whatever. But that happens. So yes, some stores, if you go to a serious store, they might tell you there is a deposit here. Most companies will do maybe like a $25, $30, $40 deposit, depending on how big the repair is going to be. And sometimes you have to pay for the diagnostic up front. That is sometimes given. So if you have some items that needs to be diagnosed, yeah, there will be a diagnostic fee. But when you pay that up front, what most companies do is that they subtract that on your final bill when you come to pick it up and pay the whole bill. Some people do it that way. Some companies do it that way. But you don't meet anyone that claims to own a shop at a parking lot. Okay? And you don't hand over the item without getting any receipts, anything that could be traceable. You don't hand over the whole freaking $350, I think it was, to the guy, and he takes off, and you have no proof that you did it. And when you finally realize you've been scammed, you've been had, you've been fooled, and you feel kind of like a little bit dumb, you feel a little bit stupid, but you decide you're going to cry about it in public anyway, and you post everything, and then I ask myself, did you at all check the address? It's an apartment building. And when I checked his address, I got a good picture of it. And when I went into I searched for him on Facebook. He has an kind of like a profile that is kind of like halfway blocked. There's certain things he don't have blocked, and there's certain things you can see. From the pictures that I can see, he lives in a trailer. So he's not even living in that apartment complex that he put up. So that tells me that this is a guy who created a fake Facebook account. So good luck try to track this dude down. It's not going to be that freaking easy unless the parking lot you met him in has some surveillance or something. But you have to go to the cops with that, and they have to get a warrant, they have to get a subpoena, and all this shit. It's going to take time. And before you know it, maybe that thing is on a loop, and maybe it's deleted, and there's no trace of it. So don't be a fool, don't be stupid, don't be dumb, don't be ignorant, and don't be gullible. You work so hard for your money, and you work so hard for your stuff. So if you're going to have things repaired, trust me, take it to a reputable store. Take it to someone who has great feedback, great reviews, have a positive outlook. Some companies can have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 negative, because you're gonna have that. But look at how many reviews and feedback they have. They're all over the internet. You can type in the name of the company and put reviews behind it or feedback, and it will pop up. There's many websites who offers this. So go to a store, go to a company that is well known, go to a company that has good feedback, good reviews. That doesn't mean that they're 100% good reviews, because there will always be a dumbass who didn't like you or didn't feel that you gave him the snowflake or her the snowflake treatment that they needed. So they decide they're going to blast you with a bad review. So that happens even with the best companies in the world. So yeah, you have to check out. You have to do your due diligence when you deal with people, deal with money, deal with your hard-earned stuff that you spent countless hours on to work to receive payments to buy something. So if you buy something online, be mindful. Be mindful. Check out things, and I mean, be aware of what you do. If you sell online and you sell locally and you meet people up and they, oh, I don't have cash on me, can I send you something through Cash App or Venmo or PayPal or something like that? Make sure that they send you the money. You can see it on your account, because most people have that on their cell phone. Make sure that the money is received before you hand over the product. So, because I saw that too. That was last week. Someone had, oh, I saw her sending the money on her phone to me, so I gave her the product. I went back inside, and when I checked my phone, the payment was not received because she never sent it. So you make sure that you get paid, okay? If you need repairs or anything like that, like we talked about now, for crying out loud, if I had a blown speaker, would I take that to meet someone at a parking lot at a Walmart and say, hey, I need my speaker repaired? How much will it cost me? And let's say he or she says, well, part is $100 and labor is $100 and tax and all, well, $225, $250. Okay, here's $225. Have it repaired, call me when you're done. And you never hear from them again. Would I do that? Hell no. Hell freaking no. I mean, I learned this when I was like 10, 11, 12 years old. Never to trust anyone on anything, basically. Especially when it comes to money. And when people promise you stuff, don't trust them. Promises are made to be broken, okay? And there's nothing written in stone when it comes to promises. All that's written in stone is when people come across money and the amount tends to be kind of like up there. The only thing you can trust is that something can go wrong, and it will go wrong if you let them go wrong. And most people let them go wrong, like this lady did. So don't be stupid. Don't be gullible. Don't be dumb. Don't be ignorant. Be proactive. Be the best you can in being a little detective if you're going to do things, if you're going to invest some money. We're not talking about buying stocks here. You are dealing with people of all kinds of classes, all kinds of regionality. I mean, they live everywhere, certain places you don't want to deal with people, like the ghetto or the hood or really, really bad neighborhoods. You want to stay away from those. Not just because it can be a scam or a fraud, but you're at the risk of freaking being killed or mugged or whatever. It happens here in Memphis all the time. People sell cell phones on Craigslist and Facebook, and they get mugged and shot. Happens many times. I think it happened twice last year. So and the year before that, it was like 3 or 4 times. So yeah, that happened. So be mindful what you do when you do things online. I get a headache from thinking about how stupid some people are. So not to make this video any longer, that was it. Don't be stupid.